Morning folks, welcome to my channel Westy Travels. My name's Col and today, as you can see, we're on another ferry in Orkney. We've had to get up at silly o'clock this morning and drive here for a 7 o'clock ferry, and we're going over, I think it's a 2.5 hour ferry, but it stops off at lots of other islands and it's to the island of Eday. So going to head to the passenger lounge, see if I can get myself a coffee and wake up, and then once we get to Eday, I'll show you around it, okay? Hi folks, welcome to the Isle of Eday in the Orkney Isles. So I booked this last night without any research whatsoever, and we basically had to get a ferry at 7 this morning and then discovered it was a 3-hour journey because the ferry stops off at another couple of islands before this one. Now we weren't able to get a van on it either because it was fully booked and we were just looking for something to do, so I randomly picked this island without any research whatsoever, and we've came over here, arrived here at 10 o'clock this morning, so it's quite a long ferry journey, as I say, because you're stopping at other islands. And we've got here and we're now on here for the day no matter what. I think the ferry's at 5:30 this evening, so we've got quite a long day on foot and hope the weather stays good. The island itself is about 8 miles long and it's about a mile wide, and I believe the population's maybe about 140, 160. We've landed at the south of the island and we're going to walk up. There's basically one central road, runs right up the length of the island and it narrows in at the waist. We're going to head up and explore. There's a heritage centre, there's some standing stones, some chambered cairns, and I think there's one community shop that's open to 1 o'clock, and there's no restaurants, which if we don't walk fast will shut and then we'll have no food for the rest of the day. So we're going to head up North the Island, do a wee explore. There's a few nice beaches apparently as well, and we'll show you all the features of the island, so if you want to come here and explore, you can do so. That's us about a third of the way up the island just now, and we have still passed absolutely nothing apart from about 3 churches. They seem to like their churches on this island, but that's about it. Very, very remote. But we've come up to the narrowest part of the island just now. We're getting off the road and we're kind of heading in front of us here. You'll see we have one of the beaches of the island, I think it's called the Bay of London, and over to the side, over this distance, you can see the kind of windsock there. That's the island's airport. I take it that's a huge terminal over in the distance there. So it's very, very quiet island so far. I know there's some things further north, but if you're looking for a busy time, this island probably isn't for you. If you're looking for somewhere quiet and serene for a nice walk, checking out some wildlife, then it's probably a bit better for you. How black the sand is under that. See Australia yet? Oh. Isn't that strange?
Right, okay.
So just after the Bay of London, you've got a fire station here, and it's got the Scottish Youth Hostel Association. So whether it's open or not, I'm not sure, but you've got a hostel here. You'd obviously be able to check out. It looks shut just now, but I imagine it's the type of thing you'd have to book online anyway. But it does look Eday Youth Hostel, yeah. But that's us starting to, as I say, a third of the way up the aisle, halfway up. We're starting to come into some features now where up ahead we can see another church which has been turned into the Heritage Centre, I believe. Tells you a bit about the island. What's good about it, we're reading sort of reviews online, is they've got a kettle there so you can make yourself a cup of coffee if you want a hot drink, which isn't bad. We were caught out here. The weather's quite nice even though we're kind of wrapped up because it's quite windy. It could be really exposed here, the weather came in, but today it's quite nice, we're quite warm actually. So we'll take a wee stop off there and have a wee look what that's got to offer and have a wee rest before we go up. Check some of the other islands' features out. What say you, young Kirsty?
Yeah.
Yes, Kirsty's a big speaker when the camera's out. You can tell she hates the thing.
I know. Okay.
So this is the island of Eday in Orkney's big tourist magnificent heritage centre. As usual, everywhere we go it's usually locked, but this one's open. Quite cool, giving you all the information of the island, lets you know what you can go and see in the history. Showing you about the practices where they used to cut the peat to get fire and sit in front of the fire and drink their whiskey. What's cool about the Heritage Centre as well is, you know, it's quite a windswept island, but it doesn't seem to be manned or anything at this time just now. But you've got toilets here, you've got free Wi-Fi, and you've got a nice big table and chairs and a sofa, and the nice people of the island have left tea and coffee and milk and stuff like that, just if you want to have a wee sort of break and have a cup of coffee if you've come over and not brought any food with you. So pretty cool. So we'll get ourselves a wee coffee and have a wee look around the Heritage Centre while Kirsty's on the phone to her daughter. So about 10 minutes walk up the road from the Heritage Centre, you've got a small community where the community shop are. It's literally maybe about a dozen houses or so, straight across from I think it's Mill Lock or something it's called, and you've got a little community shop that's open for about 4 hours. We're going to go and check that out just now, and then we're heading into the distance up the side of this lock. There's I think it's Orkney's biggest Rosetta Stone, and then into the distance, just at the top, my finger would be up there, on top of that hill. It's a famous chambered cairn. It's a smaller version of Maze Howe in the mainland Orkney. So if we can find a decent path, we'll head out and check that out as well. But this is about 3/4 of the way up the island maybe. The road splits here, goes off onto a heritage trail where the chambered cairns are standing stones. But it's easy to find because you've got the small community shop and post office here, which we're going to go and check out. Spend some money, we like to do that in the wee islands. Then we'll head off to the heritage trail, but we'll turn the camera off just now. It's really funny there, we went to the local community shop there. We've been walking for like an hour and a half up the kind of main road of the island, and a couple of cars have passed by and that's it, so it seems really remote. Then we find the community shop and we somehow managed to end up in a queue for about 20 minutes in a queue in the shop. I think the whole island must just gather in the shop to do their...
Brought it in last night, she was saying.
Oh right, there's Kirsty saying that the boat had brought all the supplies in last night, so they must all congregate to get everything fresh. Because there was literally a 20 minutes, half an hour queue to get our shopping there. Well, we've got it now, but nice island, friendly people as well. What we're discovering is there's a lot of people that aren't local up here. So you hear a lot of English accents, a lot of people want to go and live somewhere remote. And we've been talking to some people about the pronunciations of some of the places, and it's just different. We've heard so not Loch, we've heard the island called Eday, Eday, everything, you know. So if you are local from the Orkneys, you can forget my pronunciations. We'll call it Eday then. We're heading over to the Setter Stone, which is apparently a huge Neolithic stone. We can see in the distance, so it must be big. And Kirsty's saying it's the largest in Orkney as well. Yeah, wildlife's quite cool here as well. You can see we're just passing a kind of bird hide here to the side here. I know there's kind of puffin colonies and red-throated divers and various other things. I'm not up to scratch my birds, but we'll head over to this Setter Stone, and then the plan is, if we can make it and we've got enough time to get back to the ferry, we'll climb the hill up to the Vinquoy chambered cairn, and we'll see if we can have a look around that one. So this is your Stone of Setter, it's called, and it's I think it's the largest single standing stone in Orkney outside the mainland. I think only stones of Stinnes and the Watchstone on the mainland are bigger, but they reckon the strange shape of almost finger-like is just due to weather, and it was originally over 6 metres tall, but just now it's about 4.5 metres, and it's kind of surrounded. You can see here there's other wee mounds, small cairns and things like all dotted round about it. There's more over here as well. A very ominous looking stone that you can see from a distance away down the island, because it is such a strange, it's almost like the fingers of a hand, but very cool as well. And it's set by the small loch and all the chambered cairns up in the hill. So I think we're going to head off up where Kirsty is over here. We're going to head up onto that hillside and see if we can see this famous chambered cairns that you can crawl inside. So we're heading here, kind of almost over the can see the peat bogs here up to this series of chambered. There's actually about a dozen chambered cairns all sort of sprawn all over this kind of bog here. But we're heading up here, and you can see here on the left, just to the left of Kirsty, that's the old schoolhouse in the island. They must have had wet feet coming to school every single day. But we're kind of going to head up by the school, then right up on top of the hill, if our old bones can make it. And hopefully we've got enough time to get up there and still get back and make the ferry, because we really don't want to be stranded in this island, as nice as it is. And over in the distance, over here, you can see that's Carrick House. It was a Jacobean house the local laird built, big mansion house in the distance there. And it's where, I think in the 1700s, a famous pirate got stranded on that kind of island up there, the Calf, Eday, and he looked for the local laird for help, but he arrested him and then sent him down to London, where he was summarily executed for his piracy. And I believe that was I'm not sure, but I think it was Robert Louis Stevenson. The book The Pirate was based on this character. I can't remember his name, but I read it in a brochure earlier in one of the heritage centres. So a wee bit of history here as we pass the old schoolhouse here. Maybe take a quick peek over at it, eh? Good time. Not sure if it's just abandoned or... Yeah, it seems to be locked up anyway. We'll take a look around, see if there's any windows or anything. This would have clearly been the detention bit that I'd have been in back in the day. Yep, no windows. Bloody hell. Must have been a bit bleak being in school there. Oh, it's Kirsty Falls. Right, shall we head up to the cairn then? Are the geese flying off there, see it? Oh, you want to do that, don't you? We've got a major trauma. Kirsty's caught her jacket on the barbed wire.
Right.
She's very precious about her down jackets. She's only got 15 of them. So I've got to repair it now. Yet another small little chambered cairn there as well. You're just really seeing the rock profiles of it. But what's quite cool is there's a clear path in a decent day, and you can see you're kind of not having to look it up online or anything. It's giving you all the information of all the cairns. Yeah, everywhere, a couple of steps you take, you're getting another Neolithic profile of cairns all over the place, and barrows. But we're nearly there. We've just coming to the base of this hill. I think I'll turn the camera off there because I'll be panting with this down jacket on, but it is windy, so you're going from cold one minute to hot the next. But we'll get up to the top and I'll show you this famous cairn up here. Hope it's worth the climb. Okay. Wee West Island Terrier in his element, and amongst the heather. Casualty. You okay? It's always funny when somebody falls and doesn't hurt themselves. I missed that as well because I was in front. Oh, you okay?
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah. There's a hole there, I just went down. It's the usual with these things when you're up in the moorland. You're literally following a path and then suddenly you realise, although you're still on the actual path, it's the wrong path all of a sudden. You can see the sticks leading you up to it. I'll be damned if I noticed a part that we missed it, you know. So I think it's kind of make your way up it here and that's it. So I think this is your start of your chambered cairn coming this way, but the entrance is further up. I believe you can go in and crawl in, but I'll have to take my backpack off. I'll go in and have a look, see if I can get in. Oh, see your entrance here. Oh, I think it's a crawl job. It's very dark, so what I'll do, if you give me a second, I shall see if I can get my light of my phone. Let's see where we're going. We'll crawl in. Excuse it if it's very jittery, the footage. You can see it's only a couple of feet high until you get into the chamber itself. Oh, very cool. Oh, you can see there's oh, I can stand up now. So there's obviously a kind of, it's like 10-12 feet high ceiling, and then you've got other, it's almost like spokes of a wheel, little chambers going off to the side, and there, I'm not sure how deep it goes, whether, oh yeah, it's almost like little cells off it. There's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 other cells here, and then you can see, oh, wee skull, little ledges coming out. Very cool. And it's exactly like a mini version of Maze Howe down in the mainland, where you have the big central chamber and a kind of passageway to crawl in, then you go into a centre area. Almost cool at the fact that very few people come here because it's on top of a hill and it's not really been properly excavated, you know, to the extent of like Maze Howe, where you go there and you've got like coach parties of visitors going into it every time. But let's go back along here. Oh. Hello. Oh. Oh. Cool. Oh. Nice views from up here as well, where it's situated. I'll take you up on top of it, so you can see the cairn itself. Right. So they've obviously fitted a small light thing in here, but you can see where it is just now. You get 3 and that's over, that's it. Half of Eday it's called. That's a smaller island there, coming back around. That's the down the middle part of the island there, where we were on the beach on the other side of it, where it's a kind of narrow neck down to the bottom of it there. But quite cool. But it's littered with cairns and stuff like that, and same over in the Cafe Eday, but I think you have to arrange a special boat. Not even sure whether you can hear me, it's kind of windy up here. So what we're going to do is we'd originally planned to head up to the very north of the island to see the puffin colony, but it's about 2 o'clock now. We go over here 10, so ferry's at 5, I think, at half 5, so rather than be kind of rushing for it, we're going to head back down to the terminal, and if we're there a wee bit early we'll just cook some dinner, because by the time we get back onto the mainland at Kirkwall it'll be 7 or 8 o'clock tonight then, you know. So we'll see you back at the ferry terminal from the windy Viscoy Hill or whatever it's called, Chambered Cairn. We'll see you then. That's us back at the ferry terminal. It's about 4:45, ferry's about 5:30. So you can see, even coming over, and the ferry arrived at 10 o'clock, and we've walked up to the top of the island, visited and seen what we wanted to see. We've made it back in plenty of time. So what did you think of the Isle of Eday?
Lovely.
Lovely?
Lovely.
Lovely. Deep, thoughtful insight from Kirsty there as usual. Yeah, what I would say is it's ideal if you're kind of fit enough to come over as foot passengers. I don't think I'd recommend coming over in a vehicle, because you'd do one end of the island to the other. Although it's 8 miles long, your kind of roads aren't fully 8 miles, so I reckon we've maybe walked up the main spine of it and off on the Eday Heritage Trail, 4 or 5 miles up there and 4 or 5 back. So doing it in a car would just be too much. You'd be sitting around waiting for the ferry all day. But a very quiet island, a few nice beaches, some nice wildlife. The really good shop. It's not just a crappy little shop. It's almost like a supermarket in there. They've got everything they want to stock. The Heritage Centre is lovely. It's lots to do in there, and what's good is they provide tea and coffee for you to make yourself. There's a kettle there, and I believe we were talking to one of the girls in the shop. They have a cafe they run on a Tuesday and a Saturday, so you can always pop in. But what we did is we walked halfway up the island and we stopped in out of the wind, made ourselves a wee coffee, put a few quid in the jar just to kind of, you don't have to do it, but just to pay our way with it. Went up, did the Heritage Trail, visited the Standing Stones and the Chambered Cairns, did the shop, came back, and then we went in and we actually used the facilities and did a bit of cooking in there and stuff like that. Made some macaroni cheese and some sandwiches.
We had our own cook system.
Yeah, we had our own cook system. We didn't use the cookers or anything like that. Tidied up, and then came back and say we're going to be sitting around for half an hour till the ferry comes or something, you know. So it's a nice wee day out, but it's a quiet day out. If you're just wanting a nice walk, nothing too strenuous. It's not too hilly. It's not flat, but it's not too hilly. And there's a couple of nice beaches. We didn't actually get to see everything. There's a Maseta Sands over on the west coast, and further up the kind of northeast coast, there's some beaches there where you can see otters and seals and puffins, but we kind of didn't want to cut the time too short and end up missing the ferry and have nowhere to stay. So hopefully this little visit to the Isle of Eday and Orkney Isles is give you an indication if you're thinking of visiting here, or inspired to visit here. And if you enjoyed this little video, if you can give us the wee usual thumbs up and subscribe. And from Westy Travels, I'm Col, this is Kirsty. We'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.